How's it going, people? Welcome back to AFTV and welcome back to the first warm-up of the 21-22 season at the Emirates. Chelsea come here Sunday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. kickoff. Under another dark cloud with the Kroenke protests emerging, but albeit it's been a little while since it's been a full stadium, you know, a lot of the fans are happy to be back. How are we feeling about this Sunday's game, first and foremost? Seth, let's start with you.
I mean, we're unbeaten with Chelsea in the last 3 games, if we exclude obviously the pre-season.
When you said unbeaten, I was like, wait, did I miss that first game? And then you said against Chelsea, I was like, cool.
Against Chelsea. Yeah, we've been unbeaten in the last 3, obviously excluding the pre-season game. But for me, after the back of what we saw on Friday against Brentford last week, bro, I'm not confident at all. There's nothing showing any signs of confidence for me. We've got players out as well. We haven't really moved anywhere. We haven't really moved forward. I'm nervous. They've got Lukaku as well, who I think is going to be a big problem for us come Sunday. Yeah, man, I'm not confident. I know we can sometimes pull a sneaky win. Right now, I don't think we're ready, and I don't think we're at a place right now at Arsenal Football Club to pull that win on Sunday. But yeah,
we're going to delve into it some more anyway. Initial thoughts first, James.
Yeah, I echo what Cecil said. I'm quite nervous about it. I think there's too many uncertain factors.
Is it nervous because it's Chelsea or nervous because of the feeling of not being prepared, like Cecil said?
Even in Arsenal's decline, I've been excited for home games against a Chelsea or a Spurs or United because I fancy ourselves to always do a job here. In fact, I can't remember the last time in the league. I think Chelsea maybe Arteta's second game in charge. But actually, a lot of these clubs, unless it's City or Liverpool, don't actually come and win here often. We do make it difficult. But when you look at Aubameyang's situation, Lacazette at the moment, obviously out with COVID, we think Aubameyang might be back, we don't know, we're going to touch on injury news, Partey, Gabriel out. I just think there's too many uncertain factors, and it's not like when they played at home at Christmas last year and Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Saka came in, well, Saka on the right and Smith Rowe and Martinelli came in, and actually we kind of knew the team was better despite the injury problems forced Arteta to pick an 11 that made more sense. I don't think it does that this time.
Yeah.
So that's where I do worry a little bit about Arsenal's position, just as a first 11 going into this game.
Yeah. How are you feeling? Be honest, how are you feeling?
Listen, look, when
Positive, excited.
As always, you know me, come on, if anyone knows me, it's James. When I saw the first 3 fixtures of the season, and then an international break, I said those first 3 fixtures are very important for us fans to see what we're about after the transfer
100%.
window, for Arteta to implement his style once and for all. You know, a lot of questions about what he wants still at the end of last season. And I think after the Brentford game, I'm worried because I saw the Brentford game as our chance to, you know, take 3 points, start on the front foot and go into these 2 very difficult games against the European champions and the Premier League champions with a bit more hope, with a bit more, you know, charging our battery, let's say. But I'm worried because of obviously how we went into the Brentford game. Oba and Laka being out obviously does leave a void in the attacking position.
Yeah.
You know, we have got quality players in the 3 behind the striker, but even last season we was worried about Oba's form. Lacazette came in and done well here and there. We're going into Chelsea without either.
Yeah.
So that is a worry, but there is no but. I tried. It'll be good to see Saka back in, you know. And the one thing about Ben White, I want to see Ben White tested, and you know, there's no better test than someone like Lukaku, you know. So that, you know, I'm interested to see them points there, but at the same time, when we move into predictions and whatnot, you'll kind of get a drift.
You really set me up for one.
I was ready, and as I was looking at you two, I thought, what is the but? There is no but. So I thought, let me just tell them the reality of it. There is no but. We talked about Arsenal a bit. Let's look at Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea have just made a star signing. He's back, Lukaku. Chip on his shoulder, something to prove, not only to Chelsea fans, not only to United fans, but the rest of the league, you know.
And he always starts well. At a new club, he always starts well.
Yeah, it's great.
And he knows the league. He knows what it's about. And he's going into a team where it seems like he is the icing on the cake. They had a lot of investment over the last couple of years. They won the Champions League last season. They finished top 4. I think the next step for Chelsea right now, in Abramovich's eyes, would be a title or a title challenge at the very least.
Minimum. And actually, they should have last season. I think Chelsea are one of these clubs that They won the Champions League, so they didn't have a bad season by any stretch of the imagination. But with the players they've got and the money they spend, they should every single season be challenging for the title. Some years you're going to have off years, I get that, but they'll be disappointed, as you touched on there, that it's been so long without a title. I wish we could be saying that about Arsenal, but we've got to be real about kind of where they are. They'll be really disappointed with that.
Yeah, and on that,
but they won the Champions League, so
true. Yeah. And if I'm honest, it's not many people may not agree with me, but I think Chelsea will go on and win the Premier League this season. I think that last that last missing piece of the striker, I think we know Chelsea of like the Didier Drogba effect of the main focal point up front. They've been missing it. They've had Werner in there at times. He's good burn up front, but he's not the target man that Chelsea are used to having. I think they had Diego Costa. I think they thrived as well at having that focal point. Lukaku's going to bring them back to having that, and I think that's what they missed, and that'll probably get them over the line for me. And like you said, last season they've done the Champions League, but I think this is the season we might see them win the Premier League. And I don't want to be bigging them up like them. I hate Chelsea with a passion, but they seem like they've got it together. They have a style of play. You kind of know their transfer window's been good. They got out, I think, 94 million. They sold 94 million and bought Lukaku for 97. So they've done well in the window. They're looking very positive.
Much?
Yeah. 94 million pounds outgoings with Lukaku coming in at 97. They've done really well in the window and they have identity. I envy them a little bit. I'm going to be completely honest. That's the truth. Like, they seem like they have structure and they know what they're doing. I worry about Lukaku and Ben White. I know you touched on it in the beginning there. That is a key battle, and big up key battles from your show. I know that is going to be the one that I think we're all going to be looking at come Sunday, because like you said, it's a big test for Ben White, and no better test than Lukaku. He's been on extreme form. I mean, 36 games last season for Inter Milan. He got 24 goals, 11 assists. The guy is going to probably come in and be a big problem. And you said he knows the league, so boy, I'm worried, man.
And you look at last Friday against Brentford and you see Tony, and he didn't have the greatest of games, but he done a job. He pinned the defenders back, and his physicality was a big problem.
I think this will be a different test for Ben White. I know it's very easy to look at Lukaku, who's like a physically dominating kind of figure. I don't think it'll be about the long ball and the aerial battle. Lukaku, when he kind of dominates you, it's more his kind of getting his back into you, making it kind of difficult to kind of intercept, get in front of him, but also it's the knocking and run. And when there's open space, you kind of worry about Lukaku kind of driving at you. So one thing that I think might favour Ben White is that he does have pace. He's got a lot of pace, actually, and I think that will be an interesting battle there. Lukaku wouldn't surprise me if he kind of moves to play more on Mari, where aerially it's probably a little more 50-50, but just kind of when it's about a straight sprint, that running behind, I think Mari will struggle. And we've seen Lukaku really cause Arsenal problems over the years when he's played almost towards the right-hand side, trying to cut in, almost like he's doing his best impression of Iron Robin, but he caused us problems.
That's what I was going to say to you, and that makes sense to me. I think he will kind of drift out to the right. I think Havertz, will play number 10 and then drift into the false 9 position, Lukaku cutting in.
That's what I'm expecting.
Look at the names we mentioned. Havertz is another one where he's had a year in the league, he's had a bit of success, he developed well towards the end of the season. I'm worried about Havertz,
£180 million worth of talent
and Werner now. Because Werner, listen, there's been a lot of criticism of him and he's missed some chances that it's unexplainable at the highest level. But with Lukaku coming in and a focal point now added, Werner's not that focal point anymore, or he's not looked to be. So I think Lukaku has the potential to open up Timo Werner, open up Havertz a bit more.
And I can see them playing together. They play a 3-4-3, and actually we're going to analyse Chelsea briefly, but they play that 3-4-3 and have done since Tuchel came in. And I think what's interesting about it is you can drift Werner to the left a little bit. We know Pulisic is out because when he's got COVID, obviously we hope he recovers. But Werner can play out on the left. As I said, Lukaku's the target man. He drifts right. Havertz comes in. I can almost imagine Werner just enjoying the freedom to make the runs he wants, come deep when he wants. He's good on the ball. He's a good ball carrier, and I kind of think it will take the. I don't want to say pressure. It's obviously pressure, but almost like the. What's the word I'm looking for? Like the direction of Chelsea's attack. To always think we've got to get it to Werner. We've got to get it to our striker, and almost some strikers benefit of being kind of just on the periphery of things and finding their way in.
I'm going to agree with that. I think, again, that leads me back to the Drogba effect when he was shining for Chelsea, is the fact that they got a focal point. And when I remember when I was playing, I was the guy that was like, give Cecil the long ball and he'll flick it on to the fast. That sort of style of play. And I think, like you just said there, that will unlock Werner, if I'm honest, because he's probably going to thrive off that. The flick-ons from Lukaku, the round the corners. that is what Werner feeds off. Obviously, hopefully, all he's got to do is put the ball in the back of the net, which I think is where he lacks at the moment, Werner. But if he gets that sorted, boy, Chelsea, like I said, they're going to be dangerous.
Multiple facets to their attack and transition. James, you just touched on, we're going to look at Chelsea and how they play, and predominantly where do they play through?
The funny thing about Chelsea, I don't like saying this because A, Chelsea fans will get at me, and B, if they beat us, I look like a complete idiot. But actually, since Tuchel has come in, they don't score a lot of goals. They're not like a free-flowing kind of. They don't, in the way Liverpool and City kind of overwhelm you. Chelsea don't really do that. They're quite efficient. They got finishes. They got goals from everywhere. Alonso chips in with goals.
Yep.
Werner misses chances of getting the odd goal. Mount gets goals. Pulisic gets goals. Ziyech gets goals.
Their fullback, Chalobah got a goal last week as well.
Right,
So
there you go. He's coming to the team in the back three. So the funny thing about Arsenal is, and you go back to that game in the Mine series. That first half, we were brilliant, and then 1-0 down. We were the better team.
Yeah.
We had the ball. We looked the more likely to score, but Chelsea are just so efficient. I think that's what's going to be really interesting. When we played them back at the Bridge, God, it feels like the other day, but what was it? 3 months ago now. Arteta decided to match them with Saka as the right wing back. So he basically had the personnel to score a goal and do something if when we got the chance. But he wanted to go 3-4-3 and match them, and I want to say they've struggled when they've come up against that, because almost if you get the first goal and you decide to keep it tight, you're then asking Chelsea to be inventive. Now they've got the players to do it, but has Tuchel coached them to be that? What I'd say is, I think a lot of the time it's kind of gone their way, where they've gone a goal up and they've known what the job is. And I think when the question has been asked them, right, you're a goal down now, we look at, to be fair, they turned it around at City. But you get what I'm trying to say?
No,
I
agree. I agree. We'll touch on you in a success. In terms of, that's been their style since Tuchel's come in. But what I'm worried about now is that transition of coming into a team that's not performing well and not living up to certain expectations, becoming efficient, tightening up at the back. It's pretty much, the basics of when you come into a side.
Yeah.
I'm worried now that with the Lukaku addition,
they're
going to
level.
open up a bit more, and Tuchel's going to start implementing more of his style. What do you think?
No,
Saz?
that's it. I wasn't going to even say too much off the back of James. I was just going to agree with that. I think that he's going to want to play towards his strengths, and now that area of attacking going forward is his strength. And you're right, it might open up Chelsea, but I think if they get the job done early going forward, then a lot of teams are going to struggle to get back into it.
Did you see that graphic that showed the comparison between Man City starting 11 and second 11, and Chelsea starting 11 and potential second 11? It's very much close now in terms of squads.
Yeah.
And you look at Chelsea's
Listen,
front
that doesn't
four.
surprise
that we
Two
just
richest
talked
teams
about.
in the league.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
United spend money, but those two for the last decade or more have been spending.
Right.
They fixed their problems with another £60 million signing.
Yeah.
That's how they do things.
Yeah.
We can't, but we've also spent a lot of money. So we should have an 11 out there to compete.
Well, on some of the money we have spent, and more importantly, the team news. What is the latest team news? Is there anything that's, we just mentioned Oba earlier on in the video.
Partey's out.
Yep.
Gabriel's out through injury.
Yep.
Lacazette's looking unlikely. Aubameyang could be fit, but we don't know.
Nketiah's out, still injured.
Nketiah.
Willian's got COVID. Hope you get well soon. Willian's out as well. Martin Odegaard hasn't got his visa sorted yet, so he's out. So fans want to see him. Unfortunately, he won't be available this Sunday.
Odegaard?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not available
Because of his
And at the time of filming, Aaron Ramsdale as well hasn't officially signed, and they talk about this Friday midday deadline, and it's well past that.
Yeah.
That's 8.
So I don't know what's going on there.
That's 8 players. We're not left.
And that
with
is tough
much.
for any manager. Whatever we say about Arteta, that's tough.
Facts.
That's your Gabriel Partey Aubameyang. That was
fine.
That was a call we committed to only 12 months ago with Aubameyang's new deal and 2 of them coming in. So that's a shame. But we should have something to cause them problems.
Well,
should we go into our 11s?
Yeah, there's something. Yeah. Let's get into some 11s.
We're not left with much, I must say. We're not left with much.
Go on, who wants to go first?
To start?
I'll go first. Let me bring up what I've put here.
Yeah, let me check
So I've got
you
Leno
filled
in
out the
goal.
positions this time.
All the positions
End
filled
of
out.
last season, you were sort of leaving. You were happy to just go 4 versus 11.
Because when there's nothing left in the league, I'm tired of seeing what I was seeing out there. So I just thought to myself, let me just leave some of these gaps open, because we don't know what's going on anyway.
All right, go on.
Give us a formation as well, please, just because I think I've changed up mine.
And some people, right, yeah. All right, go on.
I'm going 4-2-3-1.
Okay.
because it's just the norm.
Standard.
It
Alright,
seems
yeah.
to be the standard one,
Yeah.
unless Arteta shows me different. Leno in goal, goes without saying.
Standard.
Centre backs, I'll do White and Mari again. I know a lot of people are calling for White and Holding because of Mari's performance, but I think, overall Arsenal didn't play well against Brentford, and Mari was a big part of that. But I'll go with Mari again, although Lukaku's pace and power worries me. Tierney left back, goes without saying, and Cedric right back. I say Cedric right back because he is the out and out right back in the side, and I don't think we've got giving him a chance to be tried and fail. It feels like he's very much been shafted. When I see Chambers, it's a problem. We've heard Gabby Agbondo speaking recently about Callum Chambers, for example. And I know a lot of people did criticise him for that. I understand that, but apparently he's an Arsenal fan. And actually, if you take out what he said about it, is it something we didn't know, that an attacker would rather play up against our right back at the moment than Kieran Tierney? I think, we know this already, but it hurts to hear.
Yeah.
I'd like Cedric there, Lokonga and Xhaka in the middle without Thomas Partey. I think the options are limited. The three behind, Saka on the right, Emil Smith-Rowe, 10, and Pepe on the left. And obviously Pepe and Saka can interchange and do as they wish. With Ober up top, I'm
So
heavily
you go with
relying
the
on
assumption
Ober.
he's.
Ober's
I have
available.
to. And if
Yeah.
he's not, it's Balogun. So it really is
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
All right. I have a feeling you'll change formation, so I'm going to go first.
Yeah, I've changed
'Cause
formation. Have you not
yeah,
changed?
I'm not changing formation.
Alright, go
So Leno in goal, same back four as you, Cedric, White, Mari and Tierney. I'm going for El Neni and Lokonga in the middle.
I was very tempted to do that. And I
Yeah.
just thought to myself, people are going to say Turkish has an agenda. So James has an agenda, people, yeah?
So rather than thank you, James, it's James has an agenda.
Shift it.
I think we're going to need dynamism in midfield for when they try and counter. So El Neni and Lokonga for me. I don't think Xhaka was bad against Brentford, one mistake, but it's not about that. It's not about that. So El Neni comes in. I'm then going on the assumption that Aubameyang's not available. So Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left, Smith-Rowe behind Pepe up front.
Fair.
That's what I'd
I
say.
think
Smith-Rowe.
Dan Potts said similar the other day on News
Yeah.
Daily with Pepe up front.
Oh,
so
Pepe up from the Smith-Rowe.
It's not the first time I've
Not
heard
as a
that.
10.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, what do you think I was doing?
I thought you put Smith-Rowe up front. I was
No,
like,
no,
that
no,
is-
no,
that
no.
is-
Smith-Rowe
Pepe
behind
behind.
Pepe with Saka.
Same
and
thing I
Mata.
asked Dan before we move on to Cecil's. Can you said the same thing as Dan, Pepe with
Yeah.
Emil Smith-Rowe in behind.
Yeah.
Do you see Pepe as a striker even with an older guard behind? Because Emil Smith-Rowe adds that, run into the box. He passes the
Yeah.
striker, he opens up the space, his older guard sits behind. So do you see Pepe as potentially a striker regardless of who the 10 is?
I think
or-
he's the best finisher outside of Lacazette and Aubameyang. You could argue he's better than one of them as well. I think he's more of a handful. I saw what Dan said. It's really good. The way he talked about him being able to play on the right, left, and middle, and kind of have more freedom to cause problems. So I like that. But also, I think a really good front three these days is interchangeable. And Salah, Mane, Firmino are the front three, and Salah's on the right, Mane's on the left. But they're very often, turning up
Yeah,
in different
yeah.
positions and alternating and scoring goals from different angles and in different areas of the box. And I think we need to add that fluidity to our team. So really, they should all be able to do a job wherever they end up.
Okay.
Let's
You're
go
11.
to this formation change then.
There we go.
Let's see
A
what
I'm gonna be honest,
Man
yeah.
like Monroe's
I'm
done
gonna,
this
yeah, do
there
you
we
know
go.
what? I'm going to be honest. I just wanted to change it up, and I think I've gone very defensive in this one because, listen, I just feel
back
like,
eight.
I think we're going to struggle. So I think why not? I'm going to try something different. I've gone with a 3-4-3. Leno in goal, obviously. Mari down the middle as centre back. White on the right back. Tavares on the left back.
May I ask why you're reading it upside down?
Because
on your phone?
this is the way that it's read, isn't it? Because you can read it this way so instead of reading it upside down. What? What do you want me to do? It's easier to read like this. So yeah,
to read it upside down.
we're back, people. Yeah,
We are
we're
back.
So
Sorry,
we're
you
back.
guys can't
We're
see.
back.
On his phone.
Yeah, the phone's
So
this way, but
the phone, he's just reading it just upside down, so he can see the
the-
formation.
just so how it goes forward. You know,
Up
I
the
like
pitch.
it. Cool.
All right.
So back three of Tavares, Mari, and White.
Sorry.
Tavares
Okay.
is the left-sided centre-back.
Yeah,
Okay.
left sided centre back. It's different. He hasn't played
Mari
there, but
on.
I'm going for that. Murray down the middle, White, the right sided centre back. Cedric, right back. I think that's right for me. Tierney in front, left back as well, with Lokonga and Xhaka in
You're
the
struggling
midfield.
to read it.
I am really struggling.
Spin the thing
Look
around,
at
man.
All right, Lokonga in the middle too, and then we've got in the front three of Saka, Balogun, and Emil Smith-Rowe.
You don't know if they're playing in goal or up front.
So work out. So we've got 3-4-3.
Okay, no, I like that.
Yeah, I think for me that's the
balanced.
best way to go for. Yeah, I think
It's balanced.
It'll be good. It'll be good
I'd
for me.
swap Tierney and Tavares,
Tavares,
but
definitely, yeah.
But otherwise,
yeah?
that's
Well, you've seen
Tierney's
Tierney
playing
there.
left centre back and Tavares is quite a marauding
Yeah.
left back. But yeah, that could work. I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. We touched on it just before.
A lot of people are asking whether he
matched
might
in
go
four.
back to a back 3, back 5.
Yeah, I think
might
it's
do.
worked for him in the past. I mean, at
Graham
times,
wanted Saka as the left wing back, so no Tavares and then Pepe in the front three.
That's not a bad solution to that, actually.
And I think Pepe could thrive off kind of there's plenty of protection behind, just almost leave him up
Yeah, that's not
to
bad.
cause problems.
I
But you
still
don't
like
have
seeing
to
Saka
you
there.
don't have to play a back 3 to stifle teams, and I hate to mention them, but Spurs did that to City in a back 4.
Yeah.
They were just very organised, and I think sometimes we get obsessed with the
It's
back
discipline
3
as
being
well.
the best. It's discipline and it's knowing your roles. So I think he's got to be brave though. I don't think the Arsenal fans will put up with 20 minutes of the first 20
Yeah.
minutes of just sitting back trying to contain Chelsea.
Yeah, I was just
But
worried.
you've got to be pragmatic and sensible.
Right, I was worried about the Brentford game, and what I saw was just it wasn't good enough at all. So that's why I've gone for this formation change. Arteta's unlikely to do that. He's likely to go with what he's been with for the whole of last season, or most of last season, 4-2-3-1. But try something different. We're plummeting right now. We're in free fall. So
Yeah, after game 1. Let's get into some predictions to round off the warm-up show. Who should we start with? Do you want me to start? Or do one of you lot want to take
Well, we
the
did it on
reins?
Forever Arsenal as well. Go check it out on AFTV VIP.
There you go. Big plug.
I said we'd lose 2-0, and I don't like, I don't predict a lot of things against Arsenal, but I think this is going to be a struggle.
I said 2-1.
2-1?
But I actually think 3-1 if I'm honest.
To Chelsea?
2-1 is actually me trying to be positive about it and make it tight. But in all honesty, it's very hard to feel like it's going to be a tight game when we saw what we saw against Brentford. We also saw Chelsea handle Palace pretty well, adding Lukaku on top. Cecil, what's your prediction?
3-0 Chelsea.
Well, we're a cheery bunch, aren't we?
Yeah,
Bloody hell.
sorry everyone watching.
I
Apologies.
do want to just say, Ian Wright predicted 3-1 Chelsea on BT Sport,
Yeah.
and he gave his reason, and it's pretty much the same reasons we
Yeah.
give.
We've got to be
there's a
real,
difference between
guys.
positivity and delusion.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between it. I want to be positive, but at the same time, I'm not going to delude myself to thinking we
Right.
can go into this game and pummel Chelsea.
Yeah,
And
there's-
I'll always say, sorry, Tony,
No, go
I'll
on.
always say we can win. Like I do right now feel like we can win the game. I don't think we will.
I was gonna say, do you?
But we can. Like we've got the players to potentially stifle Chelsea, catch them on an off day, maybe make things a bit awkward and get a goal.
Yeah.
Like, we could. Like
we've
that's
beaten them
football.
with a pretty much
Football
similar team.
happens.
Right.
Football
Twice.
happens.
That's the thing, and quickly, I say 3-0 as well, because for me, there hasn't been any signs of showing that we will do a number over Chelsea. All the signings that we've made in this window aren't really available. The new signings, Odegaard and Ramsdale, and on top of that, we're missing, like we just counted before, 8 players. So I don't expect us to win, and the only kind of benefit is we're at home and we've got the fans back in the stadium, but will that have an effect? Who knows?
There you
Who
go,
knows?
people. We got a 3-0 from Cecil, 3-1 from me, and a 2-0 from James. Unfortunately, that is the mood around the Emirates right now, but we'll see what happens on Sunday. We hope for the best, people. Make sure you hit the like button, leave us your predictions in the comment section below, and share the thing. Love and peace, people. We're out.